Quiet Fear. Once, Chinello and Pascal moved through their home like two notes in a perfect chord. Their love was a tangible thing, found in the way Pascal would brush a stray hair from her forehead or how Chinello would lean into his side while the kettle whistled. They were certain that their foundation was unbreakable, built on a decade of shared whispers and easy touches. Then came the birth of their second son, Kalou. He arrived in a whirlwind of joy and exhaustion, a tiny mirror of his father's eyes and his mother's spirit. At first, the chaos of a newborn seemed to be the only reason for the distance. Pascal held the baby with a reverence that bordered on trembling, his gaze fixed on the fragile life in his arms. But as the weeks turned into months, the exhaustion lifted, yet the distance remained. The space between Chinello and Pascal on the sofa grew wider, a silent canyon of cushions and unspoken words. When Chinello reached for his hand during a movie, Pascal would find a reason to stand up, his touch as fleeting as a shadow. Chinello began to feel as though she were disappearing. She would catch her reflection in the hallway mirror and wonder if she was becoming a ghost in her own home. The vibrant woman who once felt every inch of her skin hum with his affection was now a stranger to herself, navigating a house where the air felt heavy and thin all at once. Pascal spent his evenings in the shadows of the nursery or lingering in the doorway of the living room, watching Chinello from afar. He looked like a man standing on the edge of a precipice, wanting to jump but paralyzed by the height. His eyes were full of a longing that he refused to put into words, a hunger that he deliberately starved. One evening, as the rain drummed a rhythmic sorrow against the window pane, Chinello decided she could no longer live in the quiet. She walked up behind Pascal as he stood in the kitchen and wrapped her arms around his waist, pressing her face into the fabric of his shirt, desperate for a spark of the old flame. Pascal didn't turn around. Instead, he gently but firmly unpried her fingers from his waist and stepped away. He didn't look at her. He simply focused on the glass of water in his hand, as if it held the secrets of the universe. The rejection was sharper than any argument they had ever had, leaving Chinello shivering in the warmth of the kitchen. The house fell into a tomb-like silence until the middle of the night. Chinello woke to an empty bed and followed the sound of muffled, jagged breaths to the living room. There, in the pale blue light of the moon, she found Pascal. He was slumped on the floor, his face buried in his hands, his shoulders shaking with a grief she didn't understand.